Let's check out creating an accessible Word document that has math in it. The checklist we're going to go through is converting all our equations to MathType, using alt text on graphics, formatting lists and spacing, some headers, and making sure we have our hyperlinks. Let's start by converting all our equations to MathType. So we're going to take this worksheet I've been working on for the class, and I typed it up really quickly, and I'm going to convert my equations here, my expressions, like I have 5x minus x squared. So this is how I would maybe type it into an quick email quickly to a student or something, that kind of expression. I could do the superscript too, but and I could also write out the delta x, but I actually want to put these into MathType. And then I'm going to take this document and I'm going to publish it as a web page. So the first thing to do is to take everywhere I see where I would have typed it out, maybe in an email a certain way, I'm going to take that and instead I'm going to choose, so from my MathType menu, I'm going to take, let's see, where I'm going to find my delta. And I'm going to say delta x, and I'm going to save that. And so instead of having to write delta x, I can actually have the appropriate MathType expression there. So I'm going to do that for all of my expressions and equations, and I have quite a few here. So as I'm going through and changing all these little equations and everything, and this is not the only way, there's ways to do it with Equatio, and I'm sure there's other kind of software, but if you're just using MathType in Word, creating your equations, a brand new spreadsheet, what have you. Now I had originally typed this up, like I said, for email, but if we go down here towards the bottom of the page, I have this typed up equation, x equals -1. You could just cut that or copy it, and on your end line paste it. And then as long as it comes up the way you want it to, then you can actually just go ahead and save it like that. So my x equals y squared minus 2, that superscript came up just fine when I did that one. So like this x equals e to the y, I'm going to just copy and paste that one instead of having to find everything, and it did the exponent y just fine. So that's something, just playing around with it. I'm sure other people have much more kind of quick hacks as to how to make this go faster. My other kind of hack is if it's something similar. So for instance, I have a delta x here. I'm going to copy that and then just put it in wherever I see a delta x. And for the delta y, I don't need to go and hunt and look for the delta y. I could just copy and paste it and then just edit that x to a y and save that. Next, let's look at putting alt text on our graphics. Okay, so it looks like I pretty much fixed all my equations and expressions. It took me about 10 minutes or so. So it is time consuming. Again, there are other ways we could approach this, but if you're strictly just using MathType and the toolbar, then that's about how long it took me to just convert some of those. The other thing for making this an accessible document is this image here. So this image here, I need to tell the story of what's behind that image, and I'm going to do that by doing Format Picture. So I have my format, and then I'm going to click this third icon, and it has this alt text. So in the alt text for my image, I wrote, you know, that's an image of this problem, and then the description was the equations and what was enclosed, because I ended up drawing on an A, B, C, D in there, and so I wanted to describe that in the description. Now in terms of how much to describe and what to describe, that's a whole other separate video. Next, let's look at headers, spacing, and lists. You know, make this a header 1 and these subheaders headers 2. So that would be another thing that's more of kind of your general Word documentation. And then I also, when I was typing this up, I did put all the little sub A, B, C, Ds manually. and that is not recommended. What's recommended is that you take those out and actually use your bullets, and I want it to do little A, B, C. So on the 1, 2, 3, I have my little ABC, and then it went ahead and it formatted it appropriately there. And this, I can also change the formatting for the paragraph. So you could just highlight, I already actually changed it, but I'll show you what I did. I highlighted it, and then I went to Home, and over here, Paragraph with the little tiny arrow in the bottom right to open up the toolbox, and then I get and spacing, and after I can change that, I'll change it to 15 just so you can see the difference. And then it changes that spacing for me instead of hitting a bunch of returns, because remember, we're not a big fan of returns for the reader. And then I would do the same thing down here. I had a little issue with my graphics, so I'm going to delete that F, and automatically changed it. And then I can format my paragraph again since I put all the bullets in. And now after I've formatted the paragraph and all my spacing's good, I have headers. Lastly, let's make sure we have our hyperlinks. The other thing is I have my hyperlink in here, and so that will transfer to the EPUB, and I think that's my only hyperlink. So I have my little checklist of things I wanted to make sure was done on my Word document before converting it. So here's my little checklist of what I just did. So I'm asking myself, did I convert all my equations to MathType? Did I put all my hyperlinks where I wanted them? Did I format my bullets and spacing? And did I put my alt text in, all my graphics? And did I put in all the headers? So I believe I've done everything I need to do. And that's the end of creating or altering your worksheet to be math accessible, and the checklist for you. And one of the other videos approaches how to create something like this, where it's an EPUB, which it looks like a web page that can be read by screen readers.